Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's edition of the Transilience podcast. And as you know, Transilience is all about when you go from one thing to something better after adversity hits. So, today we're going to talk with a young lady who knows a lot about adversity. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her, but first, I want you to see what she looks like because this young lady, when I read her stats, you're going to be astonished and you're going to want to know what? How? Stay tuned. So, welcome to Transilience. So, I welcome today to the Transilience podcast my guest, my friend, my business partner, Ms. Angelina Kardash, and the crowd goes wild. All right. Now, guys, take a very good look at her. Take a very good look at her. She'd be like, not today, not today. Guys, let me tell you a little bit about Angelina because she's accomplished something that we were just talking before the show about how back in the days of old, they lived for centuries. And here if someone makes it to be a centenarian, it's a big deal. But back in the early days at the beginning of man's history, that was nothing. So let me tell you, Angelina Kardash is an anti-aging wellness coach. She's an entrepreneur and she's transforming lives in the health space. She is a keynote speaker. She's an advisor to leaders, to companies, to executives. And here today, she's here to advise you. As the founder of the Anti-Aging Wellness Academy, Angelina is on a mission to help high achieving individuals, entrepreneurs, you who are a mommy, listen. You who are a single, successful woman, listen. C-suite executive, listen. You who are an ambitious entrepreneur, listen. She helps people just like you, women just like you, and for the gentlemen who are listening, you too, to power their peak performance, to defy aging by unlocking the science of cellular rejuvenation. What she does is really fascinating. She's got over a decade of research, training, and collaboration with high-flying industry pioneers. She's worked with scientists, doctors, biohackers. She's mastered the key strategies that will help you to live in a peak state. So, are you guys picking up why she's on the podcast today? Exactly. Her proven methods guide individuals to achieve radiant health, boundless energy. Her proven methods guide individuals to achieve radiant health, boundless energy, and the ability to actually reverse aging. I don't know if you guys are getting excited, but think about it. All the while maintaining sustainable and enjoyable lifestyles. So, Angelina's journey, though, this is a personal thing. This isn't just something she does in the industry because her journey, she has her own testament not only to resilience, but to transilience. She didn't just go back after adversity to what she was before. She became something new, something different, which you know is what we're all about. Angelina has successfully reversed fibromyalgia and another autoimmune liver disease that doctors deemed once deemed incurable. Through her own holistic approach, she reclaimed her vitality, shed 50 pounds, and now looks and feels at least a decade younger. I would say she looks more than a decade younger, all without resorting to restrictive diets, extreme workouts, or costly treatments. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, take a good look. Now in her 50s, Angelina thrives on empowering others to optimize their cellular health, enabling them to unlock a vibrant, youthful version of themselves. And the proof is in the pudding. Doesn't she look fantastic, guys? Yes, you heard it. 50s with a fifth E. Yes. So she really is redefining in a practical way what it means to age gracefully, age healthily, proving that vitality, confidence, and resilience that is within reach for every single one of us. So please, for the second time, make welcome Ms. Angelina Kardash. All right, Angelina. So,
Hello, everyone. Amber, hello, hello, beautiful people. What an introduction. Isn't she amazing, guys? She is so amazing. I absolutely love interacting, engaging, podcasting with Dr. Amber. She is just the light. She is this, energy that keeps everyone alive. It's just so amazing. So I'm so, pleased to be here and have this conversation with you, Amber, and with your audience.
yes, and Angelina, we in our world, in the Transilience world, we really talk about all the pillars of your life, right? Fitness, that's the first one. Body, soul, and spirit. Fitness, we talk about finance, we talk about family, we talk about fulfillment, and we talk about all the others a lot. But we
Mhm.
don't really get to talk about fitness, and you do it from the beginning, from the building blocks. You talk about it on a cellular level. Let us first back up though, and you tell us about your Transilience journey. How did you come to be doing this? How did you come to be here today?
Yes, thank you for asking me this question. My Transilience journey was quite unexpected. So, as you gave me like a great bio, but just to take you back, it started all in Silicon Valley when I spent over 20 plus years in executive roles. I was leading global IT departments. And as you know, working late nights, as anyone pursuing career in Silicon Valley, climbing this corporate ladder with all the implications, right? Having a high stress job, late night, solving all those production issues because I was, part of this, production and SLA and site availabilities, right? So, I mean, that was, kind of my job. It was very exciting, but it took quite a toll on my health. And I began like around age 35 experiencing serious issues with my health. And that time I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and I spent half a decade trying to figure out, all those treatments. And I was prescribed different medications and antidepressants because I so believed in the traditional conventional medicine. But like going through this process, I didn't get better. And all those treatments not even improve my health. They actually, my health just continued to decline. And let me take you forward. So I'm 42, just gave a birth to my precious youngest daughter. And like that's a new era. Like, so I mean, you're in 40s giving a new life. It was so amazing.
Yeah, I had Abby at 42 as well.
Yes, we talked about that. That's so amazing, right? So, and you also know how hard it that's so late in life, right? To give a birth and, all the stress that the body goes, into. So, right after giving the birth, I was diagnosed with this incurable autoimmune liver disease. And my doctor of the time told me that I might eventually need a liver transplant and I need to get on the another round of different medications. And at that moment, I realized that I have really two choices: continue to follow this so-called sick care, right, which just continues to give me medications. I'm not getting better. I'm just degrading. Or like taking basically a step back and figure out for myself what I need to do, what I need to do to take charge of my health. And I decided just to take a charge. I started diving into all those listing approaches through a lot of, I remember it was a lot of trial and error. And basically, I created a plan as I go to heal myself. So it took me 10 years of research, like training, testing, coaching with all those amazing people, doctors, scientists, biohackers, that led me to uncover those key strategies and all those tools for my diagnosis. And that time, I hosted this summit because I was so passionate about what I learned from all those amazing people. So I decided to host this Optimum Health Summit where I interviewed like top doctors in the field, researchers, biohackers on the subject of autoimmunity, chronic disease reversal. And I shared my story. I shared my story with all those people. They, first of all, I mean, I was so fascinated because all those doctors agree, for me to interview them, and I coached with a lot of them, and then they shared my story on their channels, on their social media, to their, audiences. And people started to, after all those interviews were done, started to reach out asking me, Angelina, I mean, your story is so fascinating. What did you do? And that moment, I realized that if I start sharing, maybe I start sharing my modalities, the strategies that I've learned that actually turned my health the way that I recovered. And really, why I was so passionate about it, because I was like passionate to bring to people those lifestyle modalities that can significantly change their life. And we talk, how we talk a lot about epigenetics, right? So like why genes is only 10% and 90% is like really the lifestyle, the environment, everything else, the habits. And it was empowering, other people, so they can reclaim their health. They can basically, because we are destined to live until 120. This is scientific research. This was given to us by God. 120. A lot of biohackers right now, tell us, we can live forever. Sorry. 120 is, like a biologically defined, right, by God age that. But how many people die, basically before that, and they're like even 50s and 60s and 70s. So like, this is my true passion, just to teach people all those anti-aging modalities. And this is where I end up today, like coaching people on my system for anti-aging, cellular rejuvenation, creating this powerful vision so they can be the CEO of their own health. So that was inspires me, and like looking and seeing every day those transformations that's happening in people's life.
Wow. So what you're telling me, it's so resonating because we discussed that we both lost our moms and they were the same age. They hadn't hit 60 yet. They hadn't hit 60 yet. And so we are well aware that you can live a full life but not get to the at least 120 that is promised. And you mentioned having a system that you spent 10 years to refine and prune, and you coached with all these people. And it's focused on epigenetics, cellular rejuvenation, anti-aging. Can you share a little bit more about maybe, I know that people get really great, you started to have all these people having these great results. Tell us a little bit more about, your system and the results that people have gotten.
I would love to. And before we drill into that, do you mind if I ask you a question?
You can
What
ask.
what do you think is this finest, smallest, powerful unit of our body that determines your energy, your health, and even, how you age? What do you think
I
is?
kind of know the answer to that question. So the first thing that came to mind is the cell. But I happen to know that within the cell, there is a tinier part. So you want to reveal?
So this is the cell. You're absolutely right. So the cell that are responsible for so many biological processes in our body, right? So they're building blocks of our life, our foundation of everything that our body does. And just think about that. When our cells are healthy, our entire body just thrives. It have all the energy, right? So that's when we bring vitality. But when cells start to break down, so we age, both inside out, right? So what exactly is aging? Because I really want to talk a little bit about the aging. In simple term, aging is when your cells start to weaken and lose their structure, and the DNA inside of the cell come apart and they break down, and it just leads to all this visible signs of aging, right? So energy declines, we lack mobility, we have white hair, we have sagging skin, wrinkles, right? Women, right? So hear me out. So this is aging. So, but we all want to delay that. How many of you guys out there want to delay that? I want, right? So,
And some of the gentlemen too,
and
they
some of
don't
the
want the
gentlemen
wrinkles
too.
around the eyes and the forehead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what goes aging? So what is this breakdown? So I just want to, for a couple of minutes to explain that because it's very fundamental. It's important to understand that there's just three main reasons that our cells break down and we age. It's inflammation, it's lack of detoxification, and poor oxidation. Those three fundamental things. And when you think about the inflammation it's when your body starts to protect yourself. Like, for example, I mean, you maybe strain your ankle, right? Or maybe when you have a fear and your body starts to protect itself, so you have a fear. So it's a reaction, right? So it's basically a way to protecting itself. And basically when our immune system responds to injury or infection, it's a good way, right? But not always, because when inflammation becomes chronic, meaning it's happening all the time, so it starts to damage your cells instead of helping them. Okay, so it's very easily just spreads out your body like fire in a forest. Okay, so this is inflammation. And how does it happen? So there are so many things that actually brings a lot of inflammation to our body, right? So, and this is like all this, stress and poor diet that, creates or, free radicals and, poor oxidation. So processed food, sugar, which, cause glycation. And I know I'm using a lot of these terms and I will try to explain that as we go along. But so this is basically the inflammation. The second thing is detoxification. So it's very important to understand that our body has its own detox system. We have liver, we have kidney, we have lymphatic system, right? That working hard to filter all those toxins every single day. And we get those toxins with, pollution and processed foods and products we use on our skin everywhere, right? So toxicity. 50 years ago, we were not aware of those things, right? So all the technology, all the, everything that comes, like with the technology brings all those toxins. So we have a bucket, this bucket inside of our body overflows that, basically creates toxicity and, cellular inflammation. What it means to our body, it means like it's like trying to run a car with a dirty oil, right? So the angel struggles, right? The same things happens to ourselves. So they can't function properly, the energy drops, we feel so sluggish, bloated, we gain weight. So, and that's the cellular inflammation, right? So we need to understand that to reduce this cellular inflammation, we really need to think and to be aware of the toxicity and how to detoxify our body. And
Angelina, I think that a lot of people, when they hear these terms, they're in a separate bucket from what they do or how they feel. So, for example, we say toxicity, and people don't think that's the fatigue that you're feeling, that's the headache that you have, that's the bloating that you experience. We say inflammation, people probably think of, the yellow stuff, but they don't think about the pain in the knees or on a cold day when you're so I just kind of want to bring it in that some of the things that you're feeling right now, it's winter, so here it's cold, and so some of the things that you feel when it's cold, it's not just that it's cold, it's that your body, like Angelina, you were saying, is finding ways to protect itself. And so that I just want to marry what people are feeling with the things that you're talking about, so they don't just keep it in a box up here as inflammation, toxicity, and improper excretion, but they begin to marry inflammation and tiredness, toxicity and headache, and so on and so on. And inflammation with that pain in the knee or in the wrist or in the finger, and so on.
you said it very well, how the people feel. And I will add to that that every feeling that we feel inside of our body, every symptom, it's our body telling something. So we need to be aware. We need to be aware what's going on. Headache. And some people, oh, I just have a headache. Why don't I take like anti-inflammatory medication, which is, Tylenol and ibuprofen, right? So that just, that's a band-aid. You're not addressing the root cause because your headache, it's inflammation. It's somewhere inflammation happening in your body. It's not just happens. There are so many, like millions of reasons why you can have a headache, but this is an inflammation, right? So every symptom that you have in your body tells you a story. And when you start to learn about holistic approaches, you start to be aware, you start to monitor what symptoms do I have. Like when we age, our body degrade, right? So start actually, did you know that our body started to degrade starting 30 years old? When we start losing mobility, when you start to have like some aches, in our joints. I mean, a simple mobility test. Can you stand up without arm support from your butt? Just and cross-legged, simple mobility tells. And if you can't, I mean, that's the sign that you're degrading, right? So,
I'll,
and we
I'll,
even, I mean, we love talking
yeah,
about
I'll
that.
have to be doing that one. I'll be doing that one after the podcast to test my
Yes.
mobility. You should do it too.
Yes.
You try it too at home. You try it.
Right. So, very good point, Amber, about feeling the feelings and what is that we feel, right? So, and how it's all connected because every symptom is not just the simple, it talks about the state of your health. So, we addressed inflammation, we just talked about toxicity, detoxification, why it's important. And the third thing is oxidative stress. This is when the harmful process occurring in your body when it lost its ability to detoxify those harmful effects of free radicals. So you might ask, what are the free radicals, right? So they can enter our body through different sources: pollution, smoke, radiation, cooking methods. Because I mean, when you like bake, or when you bake your food, when you bake on a high temperature, right, or barbecue your meat. So this crust that creates oxidative stress, right? Processed food contains free radicals. We get free radicals through the normal metabolic processes such as breathing, digestion, exercise. Like we create hormetic stress in our body, like when we exercise or when we go to sauna, could be good stress, bad stress. So all those three things are, creating those free radicals, right? But it's very important that, like we know how to remove those free radicals because our body have this mechanism of removing, right? But, again, I mean, when we don't have enough ability to do that, so oxidative stress occurs when there is excess production of this oxygen. It's too much going on, right? And we cannot get it out of our cells. So we cannot neutralize those free radicals, and that creates the cellular damage. So again, every process is all those processes happening at the cellular level. So we need to understand how it works so we can then like reverse it. We can start turning the aging. So once we start taking care of inflammation, toxicity, removing free radicals, oxidative stress, right? So we're turning back aging. And this is what my system is all about. I call it Vital Ageless You system. And it's based on the cellular rejuvenation formula. It really designs you just to reduce inflammation, to detox your body at the cellular level, to protect your cell, to heal your mitochondria. And mitochondria, what is this is like tiny, particle inside of the cell responsible for all this energy. It's called ATP. All those energy comes from your healthy mitochondria. So we need to think about how to keep our mitochondria healthy so we have all this energy and we can
Right.
keep this vitality in our life.
So can you tell us what that looks like? I mean, like, so we talked about the feeling when we're in toxicity, we're in bad excretion, we're in inflammation. Now, what does the body, as you begin to reverse it, what does the body begin to feel like in that mode, in that space?
Yes, yes, it's a great question. So once we start to go through the process and heal our mitochondria, like heal our cells, the cells start to put like nutrients and vitamins and absorb nutrients and vitamins inside of the cell and effectively getting waste out. And this is the healthy cell, how it functions. And once you have this function, healthy cell that functions with a healthy mitochondria, you have so much energy. You just begin to feel this energy. Your hormones start to work properly. So everything changes. Your metabolic health. Another thing that is connected to that is your metabolic health, because metabolic health, it's a precursor to all the diseases. Like, and I mean, like, there is so much important to understand why we need to take care of our metabolic health because it all starts with our metabolic health.
I
So if
mean,
we're healthy, everything else is
is
working.
healthy. You mentioned a big one too, hormones. I mean, how many ladies, it's feminine issues, polycystic or it's so many other things, fibroids. I don't want to put a list here on
Yeah,
YouTube, but how many women do we know, especially the successful single C-suite, even the moms who have a career, the dual career families, where we're going because we have these goals that we want to hit, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it does take a toll now on the hormones. So many who can't sleep, so you take something to sleep, then you feel groggy, you take something to feel better, and so all of these things are affecting the hormones, the metabolism. All right. So what prevents people from getting these results? Not the sick ones, but the healthy ones, where you have a healthy mitochondria, where there's no inflammation, where you're having healthy excretion, and your mitochondria is just providing so much energy. Every metabolistic process is working as it should. What really prevents people from getting that? I mean, we may have covered it already, but
great question. And I think there is a number of things. And the first thing, and I must say that people are looking for easy solution. And how many people out there is using medications like Ozempic out there? And by the way, like yesterday, I mean, for those who, like have account on X, there is a singer, Avery. She's basically sharing on X platform her experience taking Ozempic for the year as she's losing her bone density. Huge issue. There are so many side effects, and there are so many doctors, including Mark Hyman, talk about the danger of Ozempic. And really, it's basically when, it's the whole effort of big pharma, to make it into our life. But there are so many danger points. You lose your muscle, completely your muscle mass, you lose your bone density, you're prone to now all those, osteoporosis, all those things, the cellular damage. People think that it's just easier just starting, taking Ozempic. On top of that, you feel nauseous. I mean, that you cannot eat. That, I mean, there is the horrible. I talk to clients who've been on Ozempic and horrible. I mean, they're miserable. Even for those, who don't have such strong symptoms, they just don't fully understand the picture. So that's the first thing. So looking for easy solutions that do not work or actually create more harm. The second thing is some people think is just too late, or maybe, what I'm experiencing, I'm, too old. I mean, or my disease is too far away. And, people feel trapped by their diagnosis or they're limited. They think that they're limited by genetics and their mindset hold them back from taking those proactive steps. And it's really shifting your belief that our body is have all this ability to heal itself again. I mean, epigenetics that sits on top of the DNA, right? And you can turn good genes on and bad genes. You need just to understand the principle, the protocol, how it works. And this is where, again, I mean, this is where, your functional, like the knowledge about functional genome comes into play. This is something that, I've been fascinating, and I did so much research and trainings in the last year on the functional genomics. And I, now brought this to my family. I brought this, in work with my clients because we're all different. There is no one, fit size solution. So again, we have this power. We just need to know how to activate good genes, and it should be the system and very personalized, protocol. But again, the shift in belief, just to understand that we have this power because of epigenetics, and because our genetics is only 10% of epigenome is 90%, what we do, right? So what are the modalities, what is the lifestyle, what we eat?
I
So
like I like that you took it from the physical side. I mean, like I didn't know about the Ozempic story till you shared that with me. And since then I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm meeting more and more people who are using Ozempic and I'm like, You, you need to like come to, you're doing a master class, right? So you
Yeah.
need to like come to Angelina's thing. Heck, I'll be there. Come so that I can share it with you because sometimes you're in public and you don't want to, it's not the right place or time to bring up that
Mhm.
sort of thing with someone. But guys, for all of you who know me and all of you to call your attention to it, she mentioned osteoporosis, losing your bone density, losing your muscle mass. I mean, are those things reversible? I suppose everything is reversible, but I digress. I was happy that you brought in the physical side, and then I was also happy that you brought in the mental side because so much of it is mindset. My diagnosis, my this disease is too far gone, and I'm already 70. Why bother? I mean, like, what else? Are there other things that, really keep people from getting to healing, getting to rejuvenation, getting to the best physical life that they can have?
Yeah, yeah. I think another obstacle is like when they think about the time, when they think about the all this lifestyle demands, this heavy lifting in life, especially when I talk to the C-suite ladies, right? So when I talk to high executive lady, and men as well. And like we don't have time. I was just, recently had a new client that comes, from, friend side, and he's in science. I mean, he's academic and he's like just working on his, and he's like sitting, all day, on a couch. So like I don't have time. How I'm going to do that? I mean, Angelina, you talk about all this, things, and it's so hard. I mean, like I don't know, like I don't have time. Again, I mean, this is your limiting belief. And one of the things is just to understand that first of all, to prioritize, so to focus, like what do you want to accomplish, and having this big why. Why do you want to accomplish this? Right? And a lot of people want to do this because I mean, they don't want to end up, in the for someone to taking care of them in the last decades of their life. So we all want to be, like a vital and self-sustainable, right? So I mean, that's a fear for a lot of people when I have a discovery call with them. But so first of all, to understand, I mean, why are you doing that? So what's your big why? What's driving you? And the second thing is to understand the power of the small change. And that's what I'm teaching. It's just the power of the small change because once you start being aware, you have this goal, you have this big why, and you know the system, you start being aware and focus just on the small change that happening every single day. And you just focus on this change for 5 minutes. This is, where the journey is taking you. So you don't need to have all this time. You don't need to have a time. I put so much time being an executive on learning, on researching. And here you have the system. Just do it and do it with a small step. So just understanding, having this knowledge that you don't need to have like a, time.
Mm. I mean, I get it. Life is already busy. I already have all these things going on. So don't tell me something that is gonna take, this mammoth gargantuan effort or time or, I have to take 100 injections and 5 pills in this order. And then, you want something that is complete, it's easy, So you already have a system. Tell us, what should the listener, the person watching on YouTube, the person watching on Facebook or wherever they're watching, what should they do right now? What should they do next?
I'm super excited about that. So this Saturday, I'm hosting along with Dr. Amber, because I mean, she's my new business partner and what she does. And by the way, before I go into that, can you just tell our audience about what you do inside of the system? What do you do inside of the system? Because your part is substantial. And we kind of
Right.
touched a little bit about that, but that will just help our audience to.
To understand where I come in. Yeah. So in our world, inner healing is a big thing. And when we talk about fitness, we know most people accept that we are more than just the body. So we can fix the cells, but what about the soul or the spirit inside the body? And that can be broken. I mean, you could have all the muscles and you could have the Coca-Cola shape and you could be at the ideal weight and all of that, but have a broken heart. And so the side that we bring to this is we help heal the heart and the soul so that out of that healed, whole, beautiful heart and soul that has been rejuvenated because it's been able to let go of all the trauma and stress that happens in the emotions and on the inside. Now it's a radiant, beautiful, rejuvenated you from the inside out. And so Angelina and I, when we were discussing what she does and how this was potent to the cell and the body and the outside, I was able to share, hey, we kind of do something similar on the inside. And we were like, oh my gosh, we should so marry these two together. So do come on Saturday. That's what we're doing. And there'll be a link below. So click the link. You'll be able to register, get in early. It's going to be amazing.
And we're bringing another person, and she is absolutely fascinating. She is my partner as well, and she is a functional doctor. She's a functional doctor, and with many awards, she was on a billboards, in New York. So with such an amazing knowledge and experience and what she does and how she changes people's life. So she's gonna share her part
Yeah.
from a medical perspective because she's inside of the system. And by the way, she's still an operating surgeon. Can you imagine that? Like basically someone who comes from the conventional medicine and then turning, her journey into functional, integrative side of things and understanding body as a whole. So she is going to be sharing with us her perspective on everything that we talk about on cellular rejuvenation, on internal healing, on external healing. So she's absolutely amazing. So she's going to be a
She
guest.
really is amazing, guys. I heard her and I was like, she's kind of no nonsense to her. So what you're getting it straight, she's getting it straight. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
everyone, yeah, go ahead, Angelina.
So yeah, so this is the masterclass on Saturday. We're gonna drop a link, and tell us more, Amber, because we have an extra hour that we're gonna spend with the VAP group of people. So tell us more about that.
So if you would like to spend some time with us where you can get your questions answered, you can ask the questions that you didn't want to ask, like in the main group. There's a special VIP that we'll be doing for those who want to get down to the business, right there, personal, get your questions asked and answered. We're going to have a special VIP hour just for you so that we could get you on your journey to success right away. Not just now. You're not just doing it now. You're doing it right now. You're not just taking a step. You're taking the step right now. And so right now, click the link. Click the link below and register for the masterclass. Register for the VIP. It's going to be amazing.
And we're giving you a lot of gifts. So once you register for the VIP, they're going to be available right away on your dashboard. Practical anti-aging modalities. You're going to be fascinated, just, like a practical steps. And this masterclass, this is not just a knowledge, it's a transformation. So what are we going to do? What are we going to share? It's a transformative experience.
That's right. That's right. So come on, come all. And guys, look at us. I mean, I'm approaching 50, okay? I'm not far away from 50. Angelina is there before me, but does she look amazing, guys? So let the proof be in the pudding. We're not talking about something that we've not done plastic surgery, we've not done, Botox to lift the cheeks or, the other things that, guys, they're legitimate. Listen, if you're using Botox, come to the masterclass. If you are using, there are methodologies out there and they've become more and more accessible in terms of price, liposuction, other things. I don't want to call the list, but if you're using some of those things, they're expensive, and you're wondering, If, if you're using liposuction, you're using any of these, come to the masterclass. Perhaps there's another way to do it more naturally with longer lasting effects, with no side effects. Longer lasting positive outcomes without those side effects. So if that is you and you want to do it differently, we're your girls. We are your girls. This is a no Botox zone. All right, so guys, you have the link at the bottom. Angelina, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you so much for what you do because we could have the biggest purpose in the world and we could be out on a mission to do all the, and if we don't have a body that it gets done through. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody else, we'll see you in the master class.